The high road to success is service, not networking, not just credentials, probably not even talent sometimes. I know what you're thinking, service, that sounds like working for free, and that's not what Gen Zs want to hear. That sounds like being taken advantage of. It sounds like undervaluing yourself, right? But this is what you need to understand. Volunteering and service is a strong entry point into any sphere of influence you want to build capacity in. So I break this down and why this works and how many people miss it. When you serve through apprenticeship or volunteering, number one, you learn from finished products, people who've already succeeded. Number two, you gain hands-on experience. Number three, you have real-life practical skills, not just certificates. Number four, you become a faster fit into the ecosystem because you understand how it actually works. So you see, apprenticeship covers a cost of resources you need to acquire to learn. You're not working for free. You're getting paid in access, experience, and education that money cannot buy. But see, here's the tension here. As much as you won't put a low price tag on yourself, that I understand, you must know the season when your gift is a seed or a fruit to be eaten and incomable. Did you get that? So point of entry payment is an inevitable concept you must become comfortable with. I'm going to give you a practical example, okay? There's this system that's called the NWA-BOI System, right? I'm going to introduce you to one of the most successful wealth creation systems in the world. It blows my mind every single time I see it play out, I see it happen. It's an Igbo apprenticeship system known as NWA-BOI, and this is how it works. So a young person, often a teenager, leaves their village, right? And goes to live with an established businessman, and usually a relative or family friend, and this businessman becomes their oga, that means master or mentor. So for 5 to 7 years, the NWA-BOI works in the oga's business, often most times trading business. He lives with or near the oga, and he receives no salary, only food, shelter, and sometimes pocket money. And now he learns every aspect of the business, observes how the oga negotiates, manages money, builds relationships, handles challenges. He's taught business principles, market dynamics, supplier relationships, develops character, work ethic, discipline, and integrity. Now, after 5 to 7 years of faithful service, here's what happens. The oga settles the NWA-BOI, and he has startup capital, money, goods, and sometimes even a shop or connections to suppliers. This is called Imwego. I don't know if I got that right, but it means freedom or settlement. That's what that means. So there's something like oga don't settle me. So the former NWA-BOI now becomes an independent businessman with capital, experience, network, and proven skills. And the circle continues. Later, that former NWA-BOI takes on his own apprentice, and now this is the result. Over the years, the Igbo people, despite facing significant historical challenges, including the Biafran War, are now amongst the most successful business communities in Africa and globally. According to World Bank data and Nigerian economic studies, Igbos control an estimated 70% of Nigerians' informal economy. They dominate trade sectors across West Africa. The system graduates or has a business success rate of 80 to 90% compared to the average startup failure rate of 70 to 80% globally. So the NWA-BOI has created more millionaires and billionaires in capital than formal education has created in that region of the country, Nigeria. A Harvard Kennedy School case study of the Igbo apprenticeship system found that the system creates self-sustaining economic ecosystems, and it transfers not just skills, but values, integrity, persistence, delayed gratification. The NWA-BOIs that complete the full apprenticeship period, they show more entrepreneurial success rates, 5 to 7 times higher than those who leave early. The relationship between oga and apprentice often lasts a lifetime. So it creates powerful business networks. It's not theory, it's a proven system that has created generational wealth for millions of people. And it is built entirely on service, delayed gratification, and apprenticeship. So I'm going to start by dismantling the myth that service is the slow road or the low road. In our culture, we've been taught get credentials first, demand compensation immediately, never work for free. Your time is valuable, charge for it. Service is what you do after you're successful. But come on, scripture and reality tells a different story. right? Mark chapter 10, verse 43 and 44, the Bible said, whoever will be great amongst you must first be a servant, and whoever will be great amongst you must be slave of all. Jesus didn't say service is the road after success. He said service is the road to greatness. Practical example is Joseph. He served faithfully in Potiphar's house as a slave, served faithfully in prison as a prisoner. Result, he was promoted to second in command in Egypt. Joseph didn't demand position. He served excellently well wherever he was. And service opened doors to the palace. See Elisha, for example. He served Elijah for years. Poured water on his hands, menial task, right? You know, he didn't demand his own ministry immediately. I'm called into the prophetic. Do you know who I am? I have many auras. I have these powers. I have a Bido shaker. I have, okay, you know I'm going with this. That's a bypass. But you see, the result was that he received double portion after years of service. Look at Joshua. He served Moses for 40 years, was called Moses' assistant in Exodus 24, verse 13. He watched, he learned, he served, and he waited. What was the result? He became the leader who took Israel into the promised land. 40 years of service prepared him for leadership. Look at David. He served in his father's sheep as a shepherd, served King Saul, even when Saul tried to kill him. And what was the result? He became the greatest king of Israel. His faithful service in obscurity qualified him for prominence. The pattern is clear. Service, faithfulness in small things, promotion to greater things. Not credentials, demand, and position. Do you get the difference? So I want to speak to young people, okay? We've thrown away the concept of service and delayed gratification, and it's going to destroy you. You want to arrive at success overnight. You want the fruit without planting seeds. You want the harvest without the work. You want the title without the training. And it's making you unemployable, unbankable, and unreliable. I'm not accusing you. I'll give you data. Deloitte's 2024 Gen Z and Millennial Survey found that 49% of Gen Zs will quit a job if it didn't align with their personal values. Come on. 44% of them has turned down assignment because it didn't fit into their ethics or beliefs. And this ethic or belief is simply tied around convenience. 37% expect to leave their employer within 2 years. 75% believe they should be promoted within their first year at work. But only 39% are willing to work more than 40 hours per week to achieve these things. Resume Builder's 2023 surveys of hiring managers says that 74% of the studies shows that Gen Z is the most difficult generation to work with. 65% reports to having fired a Gen Z employees. 46% says Gen Zs lack motivation and initiative. 49% says that Gen Zs lack technological skills despite being digital natives. 39% says Gen Zs have poor communication skills. This is the translation. That you think you are too good to serve, and the marketplace is rejecting you. Now compare that with the NWA-BOI system. NWA-BOI serves 5 to 7 years without salary. Can you imagine that? He works long hours, or often 12 to 16 hours in a day, does whatever is needed, clean, carries good, runs errands. He learns the business. He lives simply. He saves nothing because there's nothing to save. He doesn't complain, he doesn't quit, he doesn't demand, just serves and learns. And then after 5 to 7 years, 80 to 90% success rate in business. Capital to start their own enterprise, network across the industry, skills that translate directly to income, character that sustains success. But a modern young person wants a high salary immediately, refuses to work more than 40 hours a week, won't do menial tasks because they're overqualified or out of their job description, quits when things get hard, demands, complains, job hops, never really builds depth. And then after 5 to 7 years, what happens? He's still at entry level or slightly above, and then he lives paycheck to paycheck, no capital, no business, no equity, shallow skills across multiple jobs. Character that crumbles under pressure. And the difference is, the NWA-BOI understands delayed gratification and service. The modern person wants instant gratification and status, and the result speaks for themselves. I'll tell you what happens when you try to shortcut the process. Number one, you get success you can't sustain. Proverbs 13 verse 11 says, wealth gained hastily will dwindle, but whoever gathers little by little will increase. When you get money, opportunity, or platform, before you build the character to manage it, you lose it. Research from the National Endowment for Financial Education shows that 70% of lottery winners go bankrupt within 2 to 5 years. 78% of NFL players are broke within 2 years of retirement. Why? Because they got wealth without the wisdom to manage it. The NWA-BOI system prevents this. By the time you're settled, you spent years watching how money is managed, made, multiplied, and protected. Number 2, you develop entitlement instead of excellence. When you skip the service phase, you think success is about what you deserve, not what you've earned. A Harvard Business School study found that employees who rose through apprenticeship, mentorship showed 3x higher work ethic than those who were fast-tracked. This same study found that fast-tracked individuals show higher rate of entitlement, lower resilience, and poor leadership skills. And the danger is that you lack the network that sustains success. Success is not built around what you know, it's about who knows you and trusts you. The NWA-BOI system, your guy vouches for you. His network becomes your network. You have built-in suppliers, customers, and mentors. Your reputation is established through years of faithful service. But when you skip service, you have credentials but no credibility. You have skills but no relationships. You have ambition but no support system. What happens now is that you are isolated, and isolated people don't sustain success. Danger number 4 is that you miss the character development that comes through hardship. The NWA-BOI system isn't easy. It is designed to be hard because hardship builds patience, humility, resilience, discipline, work ethic, and problem solving, emotional regulation. This can't be taught in a classroom. They must be forged through experience and service. But when you refuse to serve, refuse to struggle, refuse to wait, you never really develop these qualities. And without them, the first real challenge destroys you. You get the point? A University of Pennsylvania study on grit, by Angela Duckworth, found that grit, perseverance, and passion for long-term goals is a better predictor of success than IQ or talent. This same study found that grit is developed through sustained effort over time, especially in challenging circumstances. This same study shows that those who avoid hardship early in their career show significantly lower grit later. And danger number 5, you just become a perpetual consumer and never a creator. The NWA-BOI graduates don't just get jobs, they create jobs. They become business owners who then train the next generation. But what do you see with young people today? You want to consume, not create. You want to be employees and never entrepreneurs. You want security, no legacy. And there's really nothing wrong with employment unless you're only employable in theory and not in practice because you refuse to learn through service. You get the point now? So there must be a balance to this. There's no other way around this. Service is the only road to success. You must apply yourself to that school of discipline if you have plans to rise. There's a concept called stooping to conquer. Until you're able to stoop to conquer, you will never get the point of entry access that you require to get to the top. Let's push the conversation further, okay? And why apprenticeship and mentorship are so powerful, right? Research from various studies have shown that mentees are promoted 5 times more often than those without mentors. Mentors are promoted 6 times more often than those who don't mentor. Retention rates are higher for both mentors and mentees. 25% of employees who enrolled in mentoring programs have salary increased. I think that's from Gartner research, And Forbes analysis on mentorship shows that 84% of Fortune 500 CEOs had mentors. 67% of businesses report productivity due to mentorship. Mentoring programs boost minority representation by 24%. The American Society for Training and Development did a study that shows that 75% of executives credit their mentors as playing a critical role in helping them reach their current positions. The translation is very simple. The most successful people in the world didn't skip the mentorship and service or apprenticeship phase. They embraced it. The NWA-BOI system is mentorship on steroids. It's not a monthly meeting. It's a 24 hours, 7 years, deeply immersive training. There's capital investment. There's so much that is poured into this, and that's why it works. And the economics around apprenticeship and service. Apprenticeship actually covers your cost. And this is where a lot of people get it wrong, that you are doing things wrong. When you pay for education, you're investing. Tuition, tens of thousands of dollars, millions of naira, time, buy books, materials, living expenses while studying. And what do you get? Theory, credentials, knowledge. Often outdated at the time you graduate, especially in this part of the world in Nigeria. But what you don't get is real-world experience, no network, no proven track record. But when you serve through apprenticeship, the NWA-BOI style, you learn from finished products. You're not learning from textbooks. You're learning from someone who's done it successfully for years. So you see how they negotiate, how they handle difficult customers, how they manage cash flow, how they build relationships, how they recover from losses, how they actually make money, not how textbook says they should. You gain hands-on experience. You're not just watching, you're doing. And by the end of your apprenticeship, you've negotiated deals, managed inventory, handled customer complaints, built supplier relationships, made decisions under pressure. You've done the actual work, not studied it. You developed real-life practical skills, not just theory. So the difference between the business graduate and an NWA-BOI graduate, the business graduate knows theory, the NWA-BOI knows how to make money. And you see, another edge this gives is that you become a faster fit in the ecosystem. I said this earlier. When you serve in the industry, you understand the key players, the market dynamics, right? The unwritten rules, the common pitfalls, where the opportunities are. You're no longer an outsider, you are already established in the system. So apprenticeship covers the cost of resources you need. Think about what the NWA-BOI gets for free. Mentorship, worth thousands in coaching fees, business education, worth thousands in tuition, housing, and food during training. Network that takes priceless years, takes decades to build otherwise. You get startup capital at the end, often equivalent to years of saving. It's a proven business model and the skills executed, right? At the end, when you save, you're not working for free. You're just not sitting with the right lenses. You're being paid in equity, education, and eventual capital, right? You get the balance now. So to balance this conversation, you need discernment. As much as you won't put a low price tag on yourself, know the season where your gift is a seed or a fruit to be eaten and incomable. Your gift is a seed, and a seed must be planted. It must be buried, it dies to itself. It doesn't produce immediate returns, but it produces future harvest. So you must know when your gift is a seed, and you must know when your gift is fruit. And the seasons to know when your gift is a seed is when you're entering a new industry, you're building credibility, you're trying to gain access to people, environments you couldn't access otherwise, where you're learning more than you're earning, when the relationship is more valuable than the paycheck, right? When the return on investment is long-term, not immediate. The NWA-BOI's 5 to 7 years is a seed season. No salary, long hours, hard work. But the harvest at the end is massive. And you must now know when your gift is now the fruit, because fruit is harvested, it's eaten, it produces immediate benefits. So when do you know when your gift is fruit? And when you must put a bit of premium, around it. You know this when you've developed mastery, when you have a proven track record, right? When you're established in your field, when people are seeking you specifically, when the return on investment is immediate income. After settlement, the NWA-BOI's gift now becomes fruit. Now they can charge, now they profit, now they harvest what they've sown over time. Most young people want fruit before they've planted seed. They want to be paid before they've proven themselves. They want recognition before they serve, leadership before they've followed, authority before they've submitted to authority, and they wonder why doors don't open. Galatians chapter 6 verse 7 says, do not be deceived, God is not mocked. Whatever a man sows, that will he also reap. Point of entry payment is an inevitable concept. To enter the room of success, there's a price. Sometimes that price is years of service, delayed gratification, humility to learn from someone ahead of you, sacrifice of immediate comfort for long-term gains. The NWA-BOI pays his price and they reap the harvest. You refuse to pay it and you're wondering why you're stuck. And I'll close with a direct challenge to you today. Young person listening to this, you have a choice, right? Number one, continue the path you are. Keep demanding high pay immediately, right? Refuse to serve or learn. Keep job hopping every 1 to 2 years. Don't learn to abase and abound. Keep rejecting delayed gratification. Stay in entry-level positions for 9 years, right? Remain frustrated, broke, and unfulfilled. That's an option. Option number 2. I present this to you and I recommend to you, embrace the way of service. Find someone successful in your field, offer to serve, apprentice, volunteer, learn voraciously for 3 to 5 years, build skills, relationships, character, and what happens? You emerge with capital, financial or social capital to build. The data is clear, the examples are clear, the results are clear. Service works, shortcuts don't. But you see, skills don't come from a weekend course. Skills come from years of apprenticeship. Stop despising the process. Embrace it. Find your Oga. Find your Oga. Become an NWA-BOI today. Serve faithfully. Learn deeply. Wait patiently. And in 5 to 7 years, when the generation is still job hopping, you're not complaining, you'll be building businesses, creating opportunities, and establishing legacy. The highway to success is service. The Igbos have proven it works. Scripture confirms it. Data supports it. Now the question is, will you humble yourself to work it out? I hope this helps. All right, we've covered some ground today and I'm grateful. Thank you so much for following me through this journey. And I'm very grateful that you give this your time as well. And before you go, I need 60 more seconds with you, okay? I have a small important task and ask from you. I want you to hit the subscribe button on the YouTube channel right now while it is a top of mind for you. And before you worry, subscription is completely free, $0, $0, zero sacrifice, just one click. And you're officially part of this community. You're in the room, you belong here. There's no real excuse, really. And you see that little bell icon right there next to the subscribe button? Click on it. Turn on your notifications because North Star is going to be dropping contents that you will not want to arrive late to. The kind of content that's better received fresh in the mornings, in the quiet before the noise of the day crowds it out, okay? Or be the first in the room, hit the bell and the like button. Do not underestimate it. That small gesture, what it does is that it tells the algorithm that this content really matters. So it pushes it further to reach more people. So click on that button today and share. Just hit the share button, okay? Click on it. Send this to a friend who is in the middle of their process. Send it to that young person around you in your life who is building and needs a compass. And stay tuned. The next episode is coming and I promise you it is worth the wait. The best of North Star is still ahead and we're just getting started. Drop a comment below, okay? Just tell me where you are on this journey with me. Tell me where you're watching from and tell me what's really been the value takeaway for you from this entire process, even this particular episode. And tell me what question you want the next episode to answer. It's not a broadcast, it's a conversation and your voice belongs. Let's build together. This is North Star and I'll see you in the next episode.